Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are. This is Mr. Shakespeare here again with you on the 11th of April, 2023. I'm here with remote viewer, psychic medium, Liz Cross. How are you doing today, Liz?
Very well, thank you. I'm sorry you still have a cold.
Yeah, I can't seem to shake it. I don't know what's going on. It comes and it goes and it comes again. It's weird. It's not
it
full
is
blown
weird.
cold, it's just a cold. Drives you nuts. Anywho, this is a probe on Melania Trump. You asked a while back for a bunch of questions around her, which people have put.
Mm-hmm.
You've copied them over to me now, so I've got the questions. I'll try and stick to them as much as I can. And I'll start at the top. So, you need to grab Melania, please.
I've got her. She gets up very early in the morning.
Okay. And how's she doing today?
She's doing okay.
Okay. Right. Well, we'll ask her some questions then, shall we?
Okay, let's go.
Has she ever time traveled?
We're starting off with a bang. Have you ever time traveled? No.
Okay. Has Donald ever time traveled, either with or without you?
Has
Does she
Donald
know?
ever time traveled either with or without you? She says, I don't know how to do that.
Right. Does she has she ever worn specific dresses to convey messages or a message?
Ooh, I like that question. Have you ever worn specific dresses to convey a message? Yes, she believes clothing can make a statement. Clothing is very powerful, she says. That was a good question. Clothing can reveal who you are. And what she means by that is exactly, it can make a statement of where you stand, where you don't stand. You can let people know of your ideas with clothing. So yes, that I like that. That yes, she has.
Yeah, I think the question was more, not whether she's wearing jeans or, a Gucci dress or whatever. I think it's, does she wear a specific, or has she worn a specific dress because that dress meant something in numerology or gematria or in something that signifies something else, not really the answer she just gave about
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, okay. Have you ever worn a dress based on astrology? No.
What about numerology or gematria?
What about numerology? No, I can't stand that stuff, she said. What, you don't like psychic? No, she hates psychics. Oh my God. Woohoo! This is going to be fun.
She likes the people that interview psychics, doesn't she?
Do you like Mr. Shakespeare? She loves Mr. Shakespeare.
What a lady of taste.
Oh, God.
Thanks, Melania.
And for those of you that have had a sense of humor bypass listening to this, that was a joke.
All right. Carrying on with the written questions. Is Donald essentially a money launderer?
Ooh, we're getting down and dirty today. Is Donald the money launderer? She says no. Do you know anything about? No, he takes care of all the finances. So that would be an accurate statement from her. She doesn't have to deal with money. She has nothing to do with money.
No.
She just says what she needs.
Of course. Is she still sexually attracted to Donald Trump?
Are you still sexually attracted to Donald Trump? No.
How does she feel about divorce?
How do
Do you
you
ever
feel?
consider it?
Have you ever considered divorcing Donald Trump? Many times. But she knows her husband. And she knows that, and this is her answer, okay? She's saying, he would absolutely destroy me in court. She would lose all access to all funding. And then you're going up against a legal team like Donald Trump. He would destroy her. And she knows that. That's what she told me. I never thought about that.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's got the power, not her so much, hasn't he? I mean, he's the, you know. Anyway, does she have a forgiving heart for Donald Trump with his behavior in the past towards other women?
That's a good question. Do you have a forgiving heart against Donald Trump about the past and towards women, like his past behavior? No, I forget. So she doesn't necessarily forgive. So most women, right, or most people are like, oh, I forgive and forget. Not her. She tries to forget. She blocks it out of her mind, and she would never forgive.
Right.
Do you care that he is with other women? Yes, she does. She does care about that. You know, some very, women that are in these wealthy circles, they understand, they don't have a problem with their husbands going somewhere else as long as financially they're living a good life, they have access to the money and all of that. She actually does have a problem with it. Why do you have a problem with it? Because she says it's very hurtful. So she is hurt by this. Some women don't care, they just like, yeah, let him get on and do that. I've got all the money. But for her, she finds it very hurtful.
Right. Is she involved with anyone else?
Are you involved with anyone else or having an affair with anyone else? No, I would never do that, she says. He would destroy her.
Yeah. Is she still? Are they both still living together? That means her, Donald, and her.
Are you still living in the same house together? We visit each other from time to time. Would you say that you live together full time? No, they don't live together full time. No.
Right.
But listen, I understand that answer, okay? Because more information is coming through. They're both very busy people.
Right.
He's running around in these very high-powered, circles. He's not home very much. Where is he? Is he in New York? No, he's in Florida. Okay. And where are you? See, she's more in New York. She likes New York.
Well, I mean, when she left Yugoslavia, that's where she moved to, New York. So.
And she likes it. It feels like home to her. Does Mar-a-Lago feel like? See, Mar-a-Lago doesn't really feel like home. It's almost like too big for her, is what she's showing me. It's this sprawling estate, right? And she says, big places like that feel very empty to me. And so she feels more at home in New York. It's smaller. It's, it's more within her control. I mean, can you imagine trying to maintain a residence that is, sprawling like that? That would just drive me crazy. But she's saying, I like it. I like small things. I like, I don't like these massive sprawling estates where you can be in the house and not see each other for days. That doesn't feel comfortable. She likes her certain places that she goes to in New York. She likes the shopping in New York. Um, what else? She's saying to me, and I like the fact that I can go out in New York and not be seen. So, I mean, those answers make sense.
Right. Does she still love Donald Trump?
You still love Donald Trump? I care about him. Are you in love with him? No, she's not in love with him.
Was she ever in love with him?
Were you ever in love with Donald? Yes, at one time she was. How long have they been married? I mean, they've probably been married a long time.
2000 and something, 5, 6, 7 minutes or something.
Yeah. Come on. Yeah. She was in love with Donald Trump. And was it genuine in love? Yes, it was. What was it that you found that you loved about him? He treated her very well. She didn't want for anything. He took care of her. Anything she wanted, he would give to her. But is he very affectionate? Yeah, he is a very affectionate person, she says. Are you she says, yes, I am also a very affectionate person. She said it was great in the beginning.
Right. What lessons were you to learn choosing such a painful private life that has been exposed to the public?
Ooh, that's a good question. What lessons? Like, how do you feel about your private life is now, exposed to the public? She hates it. She is a very private person. She doesn't like the media attention. It's unnecessary. It's false, she's saying. She likes to remain this air of mystery. If you think about it, not a lot of people can report anything about Melania Trump. Do you have a close circle of friends? No, she keeps everybody at a distance. Do you have any good friends that you have? No, she just keeps people at a distance. She doesn't trust anyone, right? She's very cautious. And was that something that you learned since being married to Donald Trump? No, she learned that prior to even meeting him. She has been like this from a very young age. She doesn't let people close to her. And I feel like that stems back into her childhood where she was hurt. She knows how to do the PR stuff. She just pushes people away. So she doesn't let people get close to her.
Right. Mm-hmm. Has Donald Trump changed since his presidency?
Has Donald Trump changed since his presidency? No, he'll never change. That is so funny. Sorry, I got a kick out of that answer.
Did he confide in her in the White House?
Did he confide in the White House? Some, but he pretty much would vent his frustrations and in her personal thought, feeling, and opinion to the wrong people.
Right.
He should have vented to her, but instead she said he just spouts off and he just fires off. He doesn't care, and he'll just give information. See, she's like, we're very much opposite in that way. He doesn't hold his cards close to his chest. He just lets it all go. And that's his downfall. She says that's his downfall. I've told him and told him and told him. You never let anyone know what you're thinking. You never let anyone know what you're doing. But she may be, that may be too extreme for somebody who's running for president, right? Or somebody who's on the TV, because of course he was doing that show before he was president. But she says you never let anyone know what you're thinking.
Okay. Do you think he was a good president?
Do you think that Donald Trump was a good president? No. She said, what do you think he did well for the country? Well, in her own personal thought, feeling, and opinion, yes. But she realized that he had taken on too much.
Right.
And she says, I'm surprised he's still alive and the stress didn't kill him. So she actually admires him in that way, that, that he managed to withstand the stress of being a president, especially, as she's saying to me, under the media scrutiny that he was under, and he still made it out alive. She said, in her own personal thought, feeling, and opinion, she is saying to me that the media tried to kill him, and they figured if they applied that much pressure on him, he would eventually become very ill, die of a heart attack. That's what her fear was, right? That he wasn't going to make it, that he could not withstand this amount of scrutiny and pressure. It's one thing being the CEO of your own business, but it's another thing being a CEO of the people, right? Because when you're in business, she's saying, she's a very smart lady, actually. I like how she's giving these explanations. She's saying, when you're in business, you're controlling everything. But when you're in business for the people, you have no control. And that was a big lesson that he had to learn, which was, the people are the ones that are in control. Their opinion, their thoughts, that all matters. And she says that's where he really had that hard lesson to learn. And he never learned that lesson. She says he's still just the same old person. He will never change. Now, I don't know about you, Mr. Shakespeare, but that answer, I think, is very intelligent. And I think that really is quite accurate.
Right.
So you can't just go, she's saying, you can't just go blazing up there telling everybody what you think, feel, whatever, you're fired, you're this, you're that. He'd never done that before. You're up there and you have to contend with the public opinion. And she's saying in her own personal thought, feeling, and opinion, he gave far too much away about himself. He made too many mistakes.
Okay. Does she think that her son Barron, or their son Barron Trump, will be all right? Apparently, he always seems so sad, the questioner has put.
Oh, do you believe your son Barron is sad? No, he's a great kid. Do you believe that he's going to go into politics? No, he hates politics. He hates it. Why does he hate politics so much? Because of his dad. Do they get along? He doesn't see his dad as much as he would like to, right? That's understandable. That's what happens when you're in business and you've got all these high-powered things going on. You don't get to see your loved ones as much. She's saying to me, he wishes he could have more of a connection with his dad, but it's very hard for these children to have that strong connection to their dad. The only time they get this strong connection to their dad is if they're appeasing him in some way, if they're attaching themselves to his work. That's the only way you can get close to him. Are you saying that he's not going to? Yeah, you see, he's not going to be the dad that's interested in everything that you're doing. He's the dad that's interested when you're interested in him.
Right.
This is a very good probe.
Okay.
She is really psychologically, she is very clever, but I feel she had to be.
Oh, yeah. Okay, next question. Does she think that Barack Obama was not born a US citizen?
Oh, Lord. These people are trying to get me thrown off of YouTube.
No.
Do you believe that? What do you think about Obama? Now, she doesn't like Obama. Okay. Why do you not like him? She says he's a double-crossing, two-faced liar. That's her answer. So obviously there's something going on there behind the scenes that we didn't know about. What is it that was going on? He just lies. She says he just lies and lies and lies. Do you believe he was born in the US? No, she believes he lied about that.
Okay, is it true that she would not live in the White House after Donald Trump won because she first wanted to make sure that someone cleared out all the demonic Illuminati sacrificial energy from the last party that was there, that she wanted to make sure the place was clear of curses?
That's a very deep question. When Donald was elected president, yeah, what about it? And she said, and I'm saying to her, when he went to the White House, yes, she's saying, I did not go immediately. Why did you not go immediately? She didn't want to leave New York. And was that because you wanted to make sure the White House was cleared of any energy? No, she doesn't like the atmosphere, the vibe in Washington, D.C. She doesn't like the vibe in the White House. It's just this big, cold place. She doesn't like scrutiny, right? She doesn't like being watched and having to be on display all the time. She was like, I wanted to hide away in New York, and I thought that would be okay, especially with her son, Barron. But the media pressure forced her down to Washington, D.C. That was a good question.
Well, it's a den of vipers down in Washington, isn't it? So, yeah, I don't blame him. Okay, what was one thing that she wishes she could have done differently if she could go back and redo being the first lady?
What was the one thing that you should have done differently if you could go back and redo being the first lady? Nothing at all. She kept quiet. She kept quiet and she kept isolated.
Right.
I don't know how much people know about her, but apart from the obvious pleasantries that you exchange over the dinner table in these, high-powered groups, she doesn't get into these in-depth discussions, right? It's not that she can't hold her own, she says. I don't want to talk to them. I just very much am, somebody to look at, somebody to, admire, but she's not going to give anything away.
Right. Does she know any top secrets about aliens?
Do you know any top secrets about aliens? No, she doesn't believe in that stuff.
Okay. Does she know if Donald Trump has beckoned Robert Kennedy to run for president to try and defeat Biden? And then a follow-up part of that is, if so, are they then in cahoots to try and bring Biden down?
Do you know anything about Donald Trump's political maneuvers? No, she's saying she doesn't really know a lot. Like, he tells her what's going on. Look, she stays out of this stuff. I'll be honest with you. She stays out of it. And his political advisors, his team of people, they're the ones that orchestrate all of this. He does have good ideas, and he does, they bounce and they brainstorm these ideas all around, and they come up with a plan, a strategic plan, she says. But overall, it's a think tank, a political think tank and strategic team of people that are pushing him forward. So let's ask this question, because, in her mind, what she just said to me is, well, they need to stay employed. They're paid very well. They need to stay employed. So of course they're going to push him to run. Okay. Now, do you know of anything or any plan that he's working with the Kennedy to run against Biden? No, she has no information of this. No.
Okay. What is the most challenging thing that she, Donald, and Barron are going through right now?
What is the most challenging? It's just a lack of communication, the lack of being able to see one another, to have, what she just said to me, to have a normal family existence.
Right.
And she just showed me like a little farmhouse in Eastern Europe. I don't know if this is what she came from. No, she says it's not. But she's showing me this farmhouse in Eastern Europe, and she's saying, enough of the glitz and the glamour and the money. I would be happy there.
Okay. Would she support Donald Trump for a second term and be First Lady again?
Would she support Donald Trump for second term and be First Lady? Well, she says, yes, I would support him. Do you want to be First Lady again? No, she doesn't want to be First Lady. She just does what she's supposed to do. She really is like a representative almost, a showpiece. She knows that about herself. She does what she's told to do. And do you like your life like this? No, I think she's pretty much done with this kind of living. She really wants to just get back to, small time living. She would be, like I said, she would be happy on a farm with animals and a garden and, doing the work herself. That doesn't bother her. And she's probably had a lot of life lessons to get to that point, right? At one time, it was all about the fame and the fortune and the glitz and the glamour and the money and not having to want anything. But now she says, I realize that that's not really for me.
Okay. Is she a covert agent for Russia?
Ooh. I like the way the Patreon subscribers think, they really come up with some fascinating questions. Are you a covert agent for Russia? No, she doesn't like Russia. She doesn't like Russia.
Is she a Palladian?
Are you a Palladian? Definitely not. She doesn't like the woo. That's very clear as we're asking her these questions. She doesn't like aliens, psychic phenomena. Do you like tarot cards? She doesn't believe in all of that. And I think that has a lot to do with her background, her religion. Yeah.
Okay. Apart from Barron, what does she believe is her greatest achievement?
Apart from Barron, what do you believe is your greatest achievement? Her looks. She works hard on her looks. It's a full-time job.
Well, yeah, she was a big-time model for a while.
Well, yeah, but hold on. Not just was she a big-time model. How old is she?
She's about 50.
Yeah. Okay. It's a full-time job. I feel like steam sauna. I feel like the not eating. Do you eat much? No, she barely eats anything. Okay. The hair, the makeup, she's showing me the facial tightening, whatever that is that she does. She does like very facial tightening, the eating healthy, the making sure you go to bed on time, you get plenty of sleep. She's all into her looks, right? So she's very much, and I'm saying, well, and you want to go live on a farm and you're this, work hours a day on your looks? And she's like, yes. So if she wasn't in the public eye, she would let herself go a little bit. But because she's in the public eye, she feels like she has to look beautiful. Poor Mr. Shakespeare has this terrible cold, but she feels like she has to look beautiful at all times. She does not leave the house unless she's absolutely perfect in case somebody does see her. However, she does like to hide away. She likes the fact that she can go out discreetly and people may not recognize her. But if they do recognize her, they can say, wow, she's absolutely gorgeous. So her looks, that is her greatest accomplishment.
Okay. Does she get along with all of Donald's other children?
Ooh, do you get along with Donald Trump's other children? She tolerates them.
Okay. What past lives has she shared with Donald?
Ooh, what past lives have you shared with Donald Trump? They have not had any past lives together. This is the first past life. This is the first lifetime that they've had, because all these previous lifetimes that he's had that I can see right now, and we've had a lot of past lives. Okay, so doesn't mean I'm looking at every single lifetime he's ever had, because I would be here all day and probably the rest of the week. However, from what I can see, right, he always has troubled lives. It's always this proving himself. I have to prove myself. I have to push myself. I have to work harder. I have to be stronger than I was yesterday or stronger than I've ever been before. He is constantly pushing forward. He has a very strong personality in most of the lifetimes that I'm looking at. And even in like the caveman lifetimes where he's moving rocks and, building things, and it's a very simplistic existence. The rock that he moved yesterday, is smaller than the rock he's moving today. He's always got to be a better version or do something better than what he did the day before. Do you believe? So I'm putting all this to her now. Do you believe that this is how he is in this life? No, she says he was like that for a time, but she really feels like he's slowing down. But I'm saying, but does he always feel like he has something to prove? Yes. Now that is a common theme that he has had in many lifetimes. I have to prove myself. I have to prove that I'm the best that there is. And she just said that gets him into trouble more often than not. Yes, he's successful. Yes, he has money, but sometimes proving that having to prove yourself continuously, you lose all sense of self, is what she's saying. She's saying he doesn't even really know who he is. He hasn't connected with that person in years. It's always this conscious mind push forward.
Is her marriage to Donald Trump, is it not a soul contract, or is it?
Is your marriage to Donald Trump? Yes, it's very much a soul contract. Yes.
Okay. Why did she wear the quote, "I don't care," end quote, jacket to the border to see detention centers?
The I don't care jacket. What does that mean?
I don't know. Maybe it's a jacket that has written "I don't care" on it or something. I don't know. I didn't know anything about this.
Okay. So why did you wear the I don't care jacket to the border? Oh, so I feel like this backfired on her. It was a grave mistake, she says. Huge. It was supposed to be a message to the media.
But they spun it round and said that she doesn't care about the people in detention centers.
Right. This was a message to the media because, of course, everybody would be down there. And would you ever do that again? No, she'll never do that again. But this was at a time when she was quite fragile, and you don't see this version of her, this vulnerability, this being heavily criticized by the media. Now, I don't know what year this was, but she had to work through that. She didn't like the media attention. She didn't like constantly being critiqued in the media. And
definitely a whole agenda against her and her husband by all of the media collective. We know that because there were no dissenting voice. There was, I mean, when has all the media ever agreed on anything like, I mean, you can see it is 6 mile out.
She didn't like that. She didn't like the media coverage. And that was something that was a real struggle for her when she was in the White House. Even when he started running for president, she never realized that her character would ever be pulled apart. And really, nobody has anything on her because she has been so cautious all of her life. That's part of the soul contract that they made. He couldn't have someone that was a tell-all, right? That was gonna blab and all this. She very much doesn't do that. So she's saying that the "I don't care" jacket was a media stunt, and it was to say, like, I really don't care what you think of me. But unfortunately, it was taken out of context. And I'm saying to her, but hold on a minute, they had no reference to that was directed at the media. She goes, no, I realized that was a big mistake.
Does she believe her husband Donald is guilty of these wrongdoings, these charges? I guess the question. Yes. I mean,
do you believe your husband is guilty? No, she doesn't. Do you know the ins and outs of all of this stuff? No, she doesn't. But she doesn't believe he's guilty. Why do you believe he's not guilty? Because she's saying this is all made up. Okay, she's saying in her mind, do you believe he had this thing with Stormy Daniels? Yes, she does. And do you believe, has he had many affairs? He's had quite a few. Okay. And how do you find out about them? She finds out from other people. Does he ever come clean and tell you? No. So she has a PR team as well. Okay. And she has insider information. She has her people, her group of people that work for her, okay, to maintain this image as well. And they do give information about his indiscretions, as it were. And how does that make you feel? She's very hurt by these every single time. Do you believe that they're true? Yes, she does believe that they're true. Okay. But I'm saying, why don't you divorce him? She's like, how? How can I divorce him? He would, and again, it's this thing coming through of, he will destroy me.
Does she believe that Donald Trump really wants to save the world? Or is he just playing a part and all Democrats and Republicans are one of the same card? Or all one of the same?
Do you believe your husband, Donald Trump, really does want to save the world? I don't know if I'm echoing on the video. I can hear something in the background, just in case people think it's an EVP. Do you believe your husband really does want to save the world? No. She believes he has something to prove.
Right.
That's her own personal thought, feeling, and opinion. He's always got to prove.
Does she and Donald Trump personally think that Michelle Obama was born a man named Michael Robinson?
What? Okay. Do you believe that? Have you met Michelle Obama? Yeah, she's met Michelle Obama several times. Do you believe she was born a man? No. I don't even know where that came from, but no. So somebody's obviously put that out there. Let's
Oh,
ask
been out in the
Michelle Obama. Okay, were you born a man? No, she wasn't born a man.
We actually probed her before this, so I knew that was not the case.
Oh yeah, I forgot we did that probe. That was we do so many of these things. I forget what we do. I never remember. Right,
hold on. I've got some stuff.
Somebody said, will she ever stop ringing me and asking me out? Is that a joke? And I know him, he's very funny. Right. What else?
Okay. Let's move her out to December 2025.
Ooh, risky. Okay, let's go December. She doesn't really drink much.
Well, let's do December.
Hold on. What I want to ask is this question. Okay. Does Donald Trump drink alcohol? Yes, he does. See, people like, he never drinks alcohol. You got this all wrong, Liz. But if you do a Google search and you say Donald Trump drinking a glass of wine after that video where everybody's putting out, no, he doesn't drink, you see all these pictures of him with wine and champagne and all this stuff in his hand, right? Does he drink? Yeah, he does occasionally. But does it take much to get him drunk? No, it doesn't. Does he drink more than one glass? Sometimes he'll have two. But when he says to people he doesn't drink, what exactly does he mean? He's not an alcoholic. So this is where these things are very subjective, right? In Donald Trump's mind, I don't drink. I don't drink. I don't drink. I don't drink. But what his interpretation is, I'm not an alcoholic. There's lots of people that are not alcoholics, but they drink and they have one or two glasses. Have you seen him have one or two glasses? Yeah, she has, of course. Okay. I had to throw that out there because I was like, well, I need to probe that further. Because I definitely, when I looked at him and Stormy Daniels together, he had a drink in his hand. So, you know, he does occasionally drink. Does he ever get drunk? Yes. And she's seen him slightly intoxicated, but then he stops himself, right? So in Donald Trump's mind, I don't drink means I'm not an alcoholic.
Okay. Right. So moving her out to the 11th of December, 2025.
Dinner time. Okay.
Has there been a huge explosion and or something that might be deemed as a terrorist attack in Washington, D.C.? Let's say then, because let's say for the whole of 2025.
No.
Okay. Ask her who won the presidential election.
No. Is it a Democrat or it's a moderate? See, I keep getting that every single time. It's a moderate.
Is it Trump? Is it Donald Trump?
Do you think he's a moderate? Oh my God.
No, but I want to go through the question.
Jeez.
Because I asked the question, who won? And the answer came back no.
Sorry. Donald Trump win the president? No.
Did he run?
Did he run? No.
Did Joe Biden run?
Did Joe Biden run? He did.
What?
But I feel like he pulls out. Ooh, we'll have to watch this space. So yeah.
Did Kamala Harris run?
No.
Ron DeSantis?
Did Ron DeSantis run? Does the governor of Florida run? No.
What about Newsom, the governor of California?
Yes. So here's the thing. Let me just explain this because, with political probes like this going out into the future, this is based upon quantum probability. So where we are today, and we're pushing Melania Trump out to the end of 2025, this is the most, probable outcome. Now, the reason I'm cautious about this is because in the political environment, things are very fast paced, things are very fast moving. Here today, gone tomorrow, you're forgotten about, this, that, and the other. So this is based upon today's quantum probabilities of how this will probably play out.
Okay. So in December 2025, where she is now, where is she?
Where are you? Are you in Florida? She's in Florida. They go down there for the Christmas time.
Okay.
Yeah. They go down there for Christmas. That's where they celebrate. Does the family come over? Usually the family comes over. Yeah, they're all good.
Is there still a media circus surrounding the actions of her husband, Donald Trump?
Is there still a media circus? She's like, there's always a media circus. So there's still a media. Oh, constant media circus. It's even worse now, she says.
What happened at the trial?
What happened at the trial? It's still ongoing.
Still ongoing?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, it's still ongoing. Now that's based upon today's quantum probabilities. Okay. I feel like there's going to be multiple trials, multiple problems. There's a lot more things that they're trying to unravel. I feel like what's coming through is there's going to be more charges brought against him, and possibly from another state.
Right.
So there you go.
Well, they really don't want him back in the political.
No, they don't. And, I think this probe is really, really insightful. I like her answers. Whether you politically agree or not with whatever, I really don't care. I just go in, get the answers, pull out, grab the info and go. But I just find this quite insightful of how guarded she is. And what came through really strongly was the fact that, that media attention, her being pulled apart, her character, that was really hard for her. She took that quite personally. And she then realized at some point, she says, I woke up one day and she says, I knew I had to rise above it. I couldn't play their game. And she's saying, and since then my life has recovered. But it was a really difficult time. She really doesn't want her son Barron in this political, eye. She doesn't want the media around him. She wants him to try to have somewhat a normal life as possible, even though his father is Donald Trump. And she says he's very clever, he's very smart, he's very creative. He thinks on his feet. Do you believe Barron is a lot like Donald Trump? And she says yes. So he's fast, fast-paced thinker, thinks on his feet.
Right.
Do you have any more questions?
No, that's it.
Yeah. Well, I love these questions. For those of you that want to submit questions, you can do that. And I love it when we do a group exercise like this. And you go to the Patreon/remote viewing and beyond. It's only like $3.50 a week. It's so cheap. All right. Well, this is great. Thank you very much. And Mr. Shakespeare, we do hope you finally get over this cold soon.